Hey everybody, long time no see. Haven't made a video in a bit, namely due to my narcissistic new little roommate, but hopefully I get more in the habit now. Anyways, we're going to do In the Pines, Where'd You Sleep Last Night? So often when I teach this, I will be teaching it in the key of G, and we'll do it very major, because that's the more traditional bluegrass way. But this is more the Leadbelly Nirvana version, so we're going to do it with a little more bluesy notes, and we're doing it in the key of E. Playing in the key of E can be tough on the banjo, so this is a good time to learn a couple tricks on how to play in a key where this fifth string doesn't really work. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and I'll go through kind of like a basic version and kind of a couple other things with some variations and stuff. Okay, so let me play it for you so you can hear how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. My girl, don't you lie to me. Tell me where did you sleep last night? In the pines where the sun don't ever shine. I would shiver the whole night through. Okay, nice. So let's quickly talk about this. So the chords, it's just 8 bars repeated over and over and over again. So let's go through the chords here. I'll put them up. We have E, then we have an E7. Now E7, and I want you to note this, anytime you have a 7 chord, it's a major chord with another note added. So we can think about it as an E chord with a D in it. And a good way to, if you ever want to check how to figure out a 7th chord, you find the root of the chord, so in this case an E, and you go 2 frets below. So that's a D. So an E chord with a D in it is a E7. So we have this one, we have this one, or we have this one here, this D with the pinky. The version that I'll do in the arrangement, we actually get this, where it's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fret. And you might notice that that's actually just a D7 chord, if you've learned our D7 chord that we moved up 2 frets. But it's also a good thing to note that if you understand that a 7th chord is a major chord with a note added, it means that you can always just play a major chord. So you never have to play the 7th. You know, I mean, sometimes you really want that sound, but you can always just play a major chord. Okay, anyways, E chord, then E7. I'll do this one where I put my pinky down. Then we have an A chord, then a G chord, and then a B chord. So it's the A chord 2 frets higher, and then back to the E. Right? Now, the easiest way to do this is just with a real simple kind of thumb, pinch, pinch, thumb, pinch, pinch, right? And we can do this. So, in the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole night through. Right? Now, essentially, that's what this first arrangement that I'm going to show you. So, this is the most basic arrangement. So we're going to do this kind of really basic, just a pinch with the 2 fingers. And then we're going to hit the melody note. So we get this little bend at the beginning. Now I should mention something here with this bend. So if we're playing this in a major key, we tend to go in the pines, really major, in the pines. But now that we're doing it really bluesy, we're just going to bend this 2nd note of the scale, which is much more bluesy than, but essentially the same thing. Okay, so we're starting here. Middle finger is going to bend this. We can have our first finger to help us bend. So E chord, pinching here. Now we're going to go to this shape of the D7 so that we can get this B note in the melody, and we make D7. So the important thing, I like to slide here with the 3rd finger so that I can get my 1st and 2nd to get this chord. Then A. Now we're going to hit this little melody note here. We're going to have that B chord. Now this bend again. Now I'll repeat that, but yeah, just notice where these melody notes are, right? Boo, do, boo, ba, do, da, ba, do, boo, do, boo. for fingers, the two things I'll mention is on that E7, it's nice to slide with that third finger because that can mess you up. If you slide with your middle finger, you can't play the chord. And when you play the B, so often with B, I'll often do it with my first finger or my middle finger or my third finger, this bar chord shape. Funnily enough, I didn't do it last time, but what I tend to do here is I'll actually do it with both fingers. And the reason I'll do it is I'll get this chord here, and then I'll get the fourth string with my middle finger, and then that prepares me to get this bend with the middle finger. Anyways, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add kind of a little bit of a ghost note in here. So I'm going to show you a little pattern here. So instead of going just, we're going to add a little extra index finger in there. So that G's a little bit out of tune, but that's okay because I'm more worried about the E. So adding that finger is a little bit weird, but in kind of a slow shuffle, it really works, kind of fills it out. So let me show you the second version that's a little bit more intense. Basic plus I have written on the sheet. That's that there, right? That's how that one sounds. Now, we can add a couple extra variations in here. So I'm going to point out a couple things. One is I start throwing in this forward roll. Right? And you can do that on each of the chords, right? In the pines where the sun don't ever shine. It gives you a bit of a weird groove. So if you do it all the time, you start hearing like 1, 2, 1, 2. But really we want this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So watch out for that. Another thing I'm going to mention is, well, we know on the G chord that we can play this open fifth string. So when we do the pinch, why don't we just add that pinch in there, right? So now let's try out the kind of tougher extra variation part. So this is the full thing. So here we have this full line. So here we're going to start off. Everything kind of starts similar. Now I'm lifting this finger off just so that I can get, I'm getting prepared to get the next chord. So that's why I'm hitting that note open. It sounds pretty okay. It's actually a D, so it's part of the seventh chord. But it makes it way easier for me to get this slide with the third finger, so the E7. Now the A I'm going to bar. Again, I'm just kind of preparing myself to get this G. Pinching all three strings, so I get the fifth string in here. Then, now here's a really important, kind of a cool, interesting thing that I think is the biggest part of the Leadbelly Nirvana version, is this kind of triplet run-up. Ba-ba-da-dum. Because so far we've only been playing quarter notes and eighth notes, right? Ba, 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 or ba, 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 ba. Now we're going to get triplets, so three notes in a beat. Da, 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 da. And we're doing it all on one string, which can be kind of tough. So what I'm going to recommend is, if you've never done this kind of single string playing, make sure that you're playing on one string. If you just play a couple notes one after another, you'll go thumb, index, thumb, index, thumb, index. So when we have this little run at the end here, this 0, 2, 3, I'm actually going, we'll go to the next note, 0, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going thumb, index, on the right hand. Now, if you find that tough, you can also just do hammer-ons. That works as well. But it's a nice time to practice this. Thumb, index, because it's a really useful trick to have in your bag. Okay, so let me start from this G bar. So B, and then I go. Now here I have a little hammer-on with my first finger. Right, I'll just mention on this B chord, you noticed here I did that two-finger thing where I've got my third finger covering these three and my middle finger covering here. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I'll put up some extra variations on these rolls. So actually, before I get into that, it's nice learning these three different versions, because now, especially when you're singing, you can have a little bit of variations. They're really actually pretty similar, but just having little differences can really help your playing sound not so repetitive. on that topic, I'll give you kind of 3 roll variations. So I'll put these down. We've already used all 3 of these, but now you can take a look at them. Like, so for example, you can go through the whole song with that first roll, like we did. Or this second one. Or this third one, which is what we used kind of on the E a couple times. So those are kind of nice ones to practice, little variations that you can get in there. Now, I'll put this in below, but the tabs, you've already seen all the tabs. There goes the vacuum. You've seen the tabs, but if you want a sheet of this along with the lyrics and everything, I'm going to put all that stuff up in my Patreon. So if you want to support me on Patreon, you can get access to PDFs of all this stuff. But it's all up on the screen, so no worries. So now I'm just going to play through the extra variation, the kind of tough part, at a slow pace, and you can just see it with the tab. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. Awesome. Hope you enjoy this one. Until next time.